Hello everyone, welcome back to another Train Sim World 6 video, and today we are on another route that I have not touched for a good while now. This is the Semmeringbahn, Wiener Neustadt to Mörtzuschlag in Austria. This is probably the best modern era Austrian route in the game. And today, we are in the Österreichische Bundesbahn, or Austrian Federal Railways, 1116 Taurus. We're doing a full line run from Mörtzuschlag to Wiener Neustadt Hauptbahnhof with weather enabled. You can find live weather enabled, I should say. You can find a full mod list in the description. Let's get going. Alright, so Verser inserted. Oh, I should probably leave some brakes on because otherwise we're going to start sliding backwards. Let's unlock the door. Do have some... Let's get some wipers going. Thank you. Train line power's on. Oh, we do need to get the headlights on. Set those to headlights this vehicle only. Do like the 1116. Good locomotive. Probably my favorite member of the Taurus family in TSW. But I don't have all of them. I don't have the BR182 that comes as an add-on with Rapid Transit. There we go, that's the safeties on. Let's walk leisurely back and get in our seat. So that's everything set up, I do believe, apart from AFB. Let's get AFB on. Go straight up to 80, which is nice. Let's also get all the reading lights on. Exterior light mouse switch on. Leave it as marker lights normal. Train lights on. Let's release the train brake because the AFB will hold us automatically. Yeah, so high tone, low tone, foot pedal horn, which is control space on a keyboard. So if we have a look at the map, we are doing a full run to Wiener... This is a rare run that does the full run to Wiener Neustadt Hauptbahnhof with no stops at all. Usually trains stop at Semmering, but we're just passing straight through, so let's shut the doors. This thing also makes a very interesting noise when setting off. Get to the external cam so you can hear this. Let's go like there. Why not? Give it some welly. 50%. Oh my goodness, the noise this thing makes when wheel slipping is hilarious. Did you just hear that? Sounds like it's playing a badly done musical scale. That's hilarious. Yeah. So, off to the left there, you can see a tunnel. That's eventually... In real life, this hasn't been completed yet, and in-game it's also under construction. That is going to be a bypass tunnel between Mörtzuschlag and Glognitz, so it renders this whole wiggly slow bit between Mörtzuschlag and Glognitz completely obsolete. It hasn't been finished yet as of recording, and it's also under construction in-game as well. But yeah, it means that a lot of the mountain running which is currently necessary for express trains over the Semmeringbahn to do will go via the tunnel, and yeah, that'll be a bit of a shame, but I can understand why they're building it, especially since it's not the fastest of lines. So yeah, this route is basically split into two parts. The wiggly section from Mörtzuschlag to Glognitz, which the bypass tunnel goes between, and then this is very fast running section up to Wiener Neustadt, where we'll be going up to 160. How much rain are we actually getting? Not that much, according to the live weather app. Sorry, I have to pause it every time I look at that. Yeah. It is only 46 kilometers in a straight line to go direct to Wiener Neustadt, but it will take almost an hour to cover that in the game. which just shows you how slow this wiggly section is, because it only takes like 15 minutes to cover the high speed section. Excuse me. I like Semmeringbahn, but it does have a couple of notable things about it, which Oh, big stutter. Anyway, Semmeringbahn, there is a couple of things which I'm not too much a fan of. First off, we only get the second class variant of the OBB BMMZ coaches, despite the fact we also have the first class variant in the game, but in Deutsche Bahn livery, but they didn't bother to change the first class one to have a intercity livery, unfortunately. To have a OBB livery, unfortunately, I should say. Secondly, the OBB 4024 Talent 1, like its counterparts on Salzburg, Rosenheim, and Elsbaum-Vorarlberg, has criminally terrible sounds. It's just sounds ported over from the Talent 2 instead of, you know, being actual sounds recorded off of Talent 1. And the Talent 2 and the Talent 1 sound nothing like each other in real life, which is a major annoyance for me, since, yeah, the OBB 4024 has been in game for what, well over 2 years at this point, and there still has the awful sounds that come with the base that came with the original version, and they haven't updated the sounds to be better, and no one's even made a sound mod for it on the Train Sim community website, like, for example, that they did for the RABE 523 from S-Bahn Central Schweiz. Yeah. And then also there's no OBB Railjet or Nightjet services on this line. They're just represented by the bog standard OBB Taurus, and yeah. There's no Railjet or Nightjet coaches or rolling stock or anything of that kind. It's just all represented by the Taurus and the second class BMMZ coaches, and then the local stuff's done by the 4024, which means it's a very boring rail scene. Even the freight services are all done by the 1116. There are a couple of rail tours. The BR103 from Link Rheinstrecke does a rail tour. The Railpool Vectron does a rail tour, a double-headed rail tour, and then strangely at first, the British Rail Class 47 from Blackpool branches has a rail tour on this line. And you might be thinking, wait a minute, what's that doing in Austria? And you'd be right, what is that doing in Austria? And it's supposed, there is actually a preserved Class 47, I think it's number 375, 47375, in Hungary. Some Class 47s were exported to Hungary back in the day. And not only that, this one has been preserved and backdated to BR condition, and it does rail tours across Central Europe, which is actually very, very cool. But I have disabled that layer in the timetable selector. At some point, I do want to get someone to make a Creators Club livery for it once the 47-3 comes out with WCML Preston to Crew that Just Trains are doing. Because I think that'd be, since it's a 47-3, that'd be appropriate for it to be in the Central European Rail Tour livery. But yeah, I've currently got that layer disabled because I just don't want to see the BR Blue one around, if you know what I mean. Yeah. I was expecting the live weather to put snow in this area, but it seems to be it's just raining. Ah well. This route is pretty scenic. Also, Semmeringbahn was recently on a sale on Steam for 90% off, which is like $5 USD. It's bonkers. And no, $3 US. Sorry, my bad. And if you didn't pick it up then, I feel sorry for you, because in retrospect, I probably regret this a bit, picking up Semmeringbahn at launch day at full price. I think that was a bit of a misjudgment on my part. But I still enjoy this route, and I have played it a bit off camera when I want to do something with an AFB train on a pretty scenic route. But there is a route an Austrian route now, which outstrips this in terms of good scenery, and that is, of course, the Mittenwaldbahn, Innsbruck to Garmisch-Partenkirchen by Train Sim Germany. That route has I may say, the best scenery of any route in Train Sim World, to the point where my computer has trouble running it. But that is, yeah. Like, if you haven't got the bit of Vauban yet, then I'm seriously sorry for you and highly recommend you pick it up on a sale, because that route is awesome. Semmeringbahn is actually almost 2 years old. Wow. That is nuts to think about, that this route's almost 2 years old and hasn't really got any update. It had a dynamic suspension update for the 4024 and 1116, but other than that, it's basically just been left with no railjet. Like, making an OBB railjet and nightjet stock DLC, I'd have bought that. That would have been awesome. But no. Just seems as though they've left it to rot. Typical Dovetail Games. Oh well, it is what it is, unfortunately. Can't really do anything about it. So, I play this route, I enjoy it, but yeah, it could have been so much better and had much more varied rolling stock if we had just gotten the Railjet and Nightjet DLC. And that would have, Nightjet stock would have added sleeper coaches for the first time. We still don't have any sleeper coaches in the game, despite the fact that this game has been out for nearly 9 years at this point, and we still don't have any sleeper coaches. No, and I'm talking about none at all. Not even like no British ones, no European ones, no American ones, none. And like, sleeper coaches would be appropriate for some routes, like for example a GWR class, Great Western class 57, and Mark 3 sleeper coaches, I think they are. There's another 1116. Would be very appropriate for, what is it? For both the Riviera line and Great Western Express remaster, but that doesn't seem to be on the cards. Let's see, are you going to force me to acknowledge that? Put you to 65 as you want. This thing does have very powerful dynamic brakes, which is a massive plus point. Coming up on the tunnel, which takes us on with the big tunnel, I should say. Come on. Alright. Okay, here we go. Long tunnel coming up. Release that piece of B. Let's turn the wipers off since we are in a tunnel. Can't really see anything in front of me because the headlights are not too good. Okay, the tunnel's doing something weird with like little flickering. Oh well. We are going down to 40 in a minute when going through Semmering, but we're not stopping. Also, I forgot to mention today's service is Railjet 558 Graz to Flughafen Wien. If you wanted to know the service I'm doing. Does the reading light work? No. Just about. Oh, let's get it down to 40, please. So that the dynamic brakes take the strain, since they are quite good. Do have a signal coming up. Yeah, it's been ages since I was on this Semmeringbahn at all. To this day, I've never done a full run of this line in the 4024 Talent 1. Coming up on Semmering, there's the light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, that's the train letting us know we're coming into a platform, but yeah. Under 30 kilometers an hour, approaching a platform, that warning goes off, but we're not stopping here, so yeah. Since we're in such a long tunnel, I should say, the live weather should have appropriately updated. Let's add some wipers back into the mix. Here's Semmering Station, probably my favorite station on the line. Nice little mountain station. Coming through, the mastery reward for this route is actually a little OBB 50 something rail car static model for over there that goes on that little bit of track, but yeah, I haven't got that unlocked. Just shows you how often I've played this. Come on, down. Okay, this is where the steep downhill bit begins, and we're basically going to be winding downhill all the way to Glognitz, because yeah, this is a very steep section of track. Let's just make sure the throttle's set around 65%. There we go. How's performance? 40 FPS, that's decent. Not gonna complain about that. A pity it's foggy because, yeah, there's not too much of a view today. I do apologize. But that's the live weather's fault, not my fault. Might get a thumbnail up here. 50 kilometers an hour limit has just kicked in. Let's actually get a photo here while I remember. Yeah, let's do it like... Actually make it a bit wider, like that. Oh, and I forgot. Motion blur, please. Oh, motion blur off. We need depth of field. Nope, wrong way. Almost forgot how motion blur in this game is supposed to work. My goodness. Put you to 50% on the dot, please. Thank you. And let's take that. Alright, yeah. I must admit, one of the best features to come to this game over the past few years has been photo mode. Like, oh man, I love the photo mode in this game. That was something that was introduced with TSW6, and yeah, absolutely adore that. Adore the photo mode. It is quite nice, and it's very reliable, and not that buggy. 35 kilometers to go, but remember, 35 kilometers in a straight line is much quicker than going via all these little wiggles that the line's doing. Station here. This bit is very slow and steady. I can see why they wanted to build the bypass tunnel, because this windy bit adds so much time onto a trip over the Semmeringbahn. It's not very efficient when you think about it. It's so slow. We are going to be able to go up to 60 in a minute, which is good. But yeah, once we get to Glognitz and the straight section of track, put it up to 160, pedal to the metal, thundering up to Wiener Neustadt. I must admit, yeah, like, despite the route's lack of rolling stock, this scenery almost makes up for the lack of rolling stock. This scenery is quite decent, and was probably the route's biggest plus point ever since release. Keep it slow. Haven't had SIFA go off in a bit. SIFA. There goes SIFA. I do like how the SIFA is very gentle. It's not SIFA like the German trains. It's a nice quiet SIFA, just to let you know that something has to be acknowledged and not in your face like the German trains, which is very nice. The 1116 does have a substantial number of layers on other routes. It layers onto the Zigtalbahn for freight services, Salzburg-Rosenheim for a few passenger and freight services, and then also onto the expert timetable on Kassel-Würzburg, if you have the Expert 101 and the Expert 101 on Kassel-Würzburg gameplay pack, Also layers on there for a few freight services too. There we go. 60 is engaged. Right, easy does it. Oh, hello. It's changed to snow. Is it going to start? Okay, we're now getting some ground snow. Add some extra wiper. Yeah. Predictable. I thought it would start snowing at some point. I love the live weather mod. If you're on PC and not using the live weather mod, I highly suggest you pick it up because it adds a ton to the realism. Oh, there's a 2024. They're very well visually modeled, but the sounds again are just absolute dog water. We are getting a slight amount of ground snow, and I think it's gotten cold enough for the live weather to start registering what's falling as snow instead of rain. It's also gotten a lot heavier, I must say. Oh, this is a nice little bridge here. Look at that! That's so nice. Look at that bridge. That's so cool. Like the little arch bridge. So cool. The reason this route is so windy is because it was built back in the steam era, so steam engines had to get up it, of course, so it's not too steep, and that's why it wriggles around so much, and why it has such gorgeous old bridges. It'll be a shame when the tunnel opens, because regular passengers will just skip all of it, unless you're going on a local or rail tour service. But yeah, I can see where they're building it. It's probably going to massively decrease journey times between Wiener Neustadt and Mörtschlag, especially since a lot of vital services do have to come through here. Station coming up. Let's do the foot pedal horn, why not? Sometimes the foot pedal horn does get stuck, but yeah. Alright. Excuse me. 35 kilometers to go. We do have a bit, but yeah. Still have well over half an hour. Oh man, the live weather does massively increase the realism. I do love like the variety it puts in. The live weather app is what the dynamic weather in the base game should have been. The dynamic weather in the base game does not go off of any live weather for the area. It just goes off of its own brain, and it often, even if you set it to clear, it like defaults to live weather or heavy fog. Not to live weather, to heavy rain or fog. Ooh, this is a nice tunnel coming up, and it just stays at the heavy rain for the rest of the run, and the transitions on it are still broken to this day, despite despite dynamic weather being out for well over 3 years at this point. September 2022 that came out. That, like, what was it, like January of 23 I really started wanting to get TSW, and then in March of 23 is when I got this game. And, you know, just leave the wipers on. No really any point turning them off and then on again. And, yeah, but the the live weather mod, I should say, has really nice transitions. You can actually control the speed of the transition, and there's a bunch of other controllable parameters that you can set yourself. And to this day, I feel really sad that the people on console cannot use it. It's just a PC only thing because you have to access the API, and that's only accessible via the Steam or Epic platforms, which is a major shame. But you may have noticed recently that Dovetail Games is not really making the majority of add-ons for this game anymore. They've got the BR147 for Stuttgart Heilbronn, and they've got New York to Stamford, coming up, and that's it. Everything else that's being released, including the Great Western Express remaster, is either entirely third party or has third parties doing the major work in some way. Yeah. Oh, now it's started to rain again. Let's see if we put that to bit and see. Let's just, yeah, turn that down. Oh, now the snow's fading off. Yeah, it's gone back to rain. It descended too far for the snow to be around. Oh well. Nice bridge. This route is pretty stable, I must say. But yeah, where was I? Oh yes, I think since Dovetail isn't doing the majority of work anymore, they are currently doing a lot of work trying to fix the blurry textures issue happening on consoles that causes diminishing frame rate for me, because AI trains that go by don't get unloaded, and so they just pile up and pile up and pile up and cause blurry textures on console, and for me, diminishing frame rate. But yeah, I'm really hoping that at some point they do. The executive in the Great Western Express preview stream, Matt Pedalston, said something about their Dovetail and Firefly simulations, who are a bunch of ex-PC modders, have managed to get some what they hope are blurry textures fixes together for the Southeastern high-speed route, and they're hoping to release that soon, and then if that works out, roll that out across the entire fleet of routes that we have in the game. So, good news there. They had people working right through the Christmas holidays on that, so they are dedicated to trying to fix it. To their credit, like, I'm not critical of everything Dovetail does. They do quite a lot of stuff which is actually quite great. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. I say that, and then my train starts behaving like it's in normal lighting in a tunnel. Oh dear. Where was I? So yeah, hopefully the blurry textures get fixed, but yeah, Dovetail seems to be taking a back foot. It seems to be taking the back foot on making content for this game. So they have a new game announcing today, in like 4 hours-ish from the time I'm recording this video. And from what people have been able to ascertain, it seems like it's going to be some kind of Thomas and Friends game, which, if it is going to be very annoying for me, because I was hoping they would do more Thomas and Friends expansions for Train Sim World rather than just the 2 Thomas and Friends Visit the West Somerset Railway stuff that they've done. I was holding out for an Isle of Sodor route. I know I'm a chap who likes realism, but I do enjoy using the Thomas stuff from time to time, and plus, it does play heavily on the nostalgia for me, since I did watch Thomas quite heavily when I was a younger kid. So yeah, if they do a dedicated Thomas and Friends game, like what seems to be happening, I really hope that I'm sad, because I was hoping we'd get like a dedicated Isle of Sodor route for TSW, but to be fair, having a new game means that they can have more freedom over it than if it's just an add-on for TSW, which is fair enough. One thing that I'm also hoping, and then also, since Dovetail seems to be having not as much content coming out, I'm wondering if they won't announce Train Sim World 7 this year, as people have been expecting them to. I'm wondering if they're going to announce Train Sim World's Unreal Engine 5 successor. And if they do, like, what routes would it have, how would it work, all of that. But also, what will happen to TSW? In my head, we already know what they did to TS Classic. when TSW came out. They started taking the back foot more on developing stuff for TS Classic, and then finally said, okay, we're not going to be developing add-ons anymore for TS Classic, and we're not going to be developing anymore. Hello, Taurus. But third parties like High Iron Simulations and Caledonia Works and other developers have continued to make add-ons for TS Classic, and mods, I should say, as despite the fact the game is no longer being actively developed, and yeah, you get my drift. In my head, that's what I think will happen to Train Sim World eventually, because yeah, Train Sim World at the end of the day is not the newest game in the roster. It runs on Unreal Engine 4 with no simulgraph technology, and it is not the most. So I'm wondering if Dovetail has something more modern planned. We already know they're coming up with that abomination Metro Rivals, that arcade train racing multiplayer game, which is absurdly out of taste in my opinion, and should never have been considered in the first place, let alone approved and developed. But yeah, then again, that's my own opinion. I have the feeling now, like, something like Metro Rivals would probably appeal most to the arcade crowd who already played Train Sim World Tycoon over on the Roblox platform, which is a thing, by the way. Dovetail did make their own Roblox game. Don't know why, but they did. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, so I think Dovetail will eventually make Train Sim World's successor, which is going to be like Unreal Engine 5, a simulgraph technology like Metro Rivals. But yeah, and I don't think they'll be able to port over add-ons from Train Sim World into that, at least without charging an upgrade price. And for me, I've already been badly burned by deciding to upgrade to Flight Simulator 2024 from 2020. And trying to get all my add-ons from Flight Simulator 2020 over to Flight Sim 2024 has been a nightmare, and that process still isn't complete because PMDG hasn't updated the 737-600 to Flight Sim 2024 compatibility yet, but that's another story. Yeah. And in my mind, I never want to do that again, ever. So I think no matter what happens with, like, new Unreal Engine 5 game, the TSW successor, blah blah blah, I think I will stick with TSW like a lot of people stuck with TS Classic back in the day, because at the end of the day I've invested too much time and too much money into this dang game to just leave it behind for a potentially buggy, unstable game that might not even transfer over all my add-ons. Like, that's just ridiculous to even think about that. Anyway, sorry for the rant, viewers. I do try to keep these, you know, up to speed, but, like, and not I try not to rant in these videos, but yeah, I just got sidetracked. Literally sidetracked. Apologies, viewers. But one thing that I am looking forward to, that's coming in less than 24 hours as I'm recording this, it's got 23 hours and 35 minutes until release, as it's currently 7:25 p.m. Japan time, and is releasing 7 p.m. Friday, and I am so looking forward to that, it's not even funny. I do have decent experience with the Paddington to Reading line, like the more modern version when GWR is running their 387s, and Heathrow Express has got the 387s, and the Elizabeth line of Ventras and the Hitachi IETs and used by GWR. I have seen a GWR Class 57 sleeper, though, on a light loco run through Maidenhead. And, well, I know Great Western Express is not exactly my era of expertise, since it is since the new timetable is going to be set in 2017, and the bulk of my experience with Paddington to Reading has been post 2023. I am incredibly looking forward to Great West Express because the amount of details in there are just mind-bogglingly huge, and the fact that it is a free update just, like, never ceases to amaze me. Like, Great West Express will have stuff we've never done before. We've been able to do before, I should say. We'll be able to tap our Oyster card at ticket barriers. We'll be able to, what is some other stuff? I believe the HST has flushable toilets, but don't quote me on that one. Up to 70 kilometers an hour. Everything's getting up to TSW6 standards. There's new rail singing sounds, which are basically like brand new to the game. There's guard mode functionality on all the passenger stock. All the stock included has now got dynamic suspension. The Class 66 included has gotten updated to modern standards with dynamic suspension. The HST and Class 166 have new First Great Western Blue liveries, albeit unbranded. There's a new Class 165, which is they just took the 166 model and took the middle car out of it and called it a 165. But hey, that's basically what Metro Camel did in real life, so don't leak down into the comments and start quoting out all the inconsistencies. There's brand new foliage across the entire route. There's new assets across the route, basically the whole scope of the route, as in all of the there's been no track extensions, so we don't have any branches to Heathrow, Greenford, Windsor and Eaton Centre, Marlow or Henley, unfortunately. That was my dream, to see one of the particular branches come to the game. But hey, remaster is not to extend a route really, but is to just freshen up that route to modern standards. And to top it all off, we are now getting a new we've got two new remasters incoming on top of the Great West Express remaster. The Cologne to Aachen route, which is... Ooh, hello, little narrow gauge railway off there. Wonder what that is. The Cologne to Aachen route, which is the German-based route back in the TSW2 era, got the revamped timetable a while back, and now it is getting the full remaster treatment to get it up to modern standards, with the lighting and the stocks getting dynamic suspension and much needed bug fixes and so on and so forth. The revamped timetable will stay basically the same because it's already excellent, but yeah, the revamped timetable is just chef's kiss. I really enjoyed playing Cologne to Aachen with the revamped timetable, even without the remaster, but oh man, I cannot wait for the remaster to come out for Cologne to Aachen. And then there's another remaster coming out, the East Coastway route, which is Brighton to Eastbourne, I think it is, with the Seaford branch. That route's been mouldering away a bit now and has been bandied around quite a bit as the subject of a future remaster. So yeah, it's getting a remaster, alright, coming soon. New timetable, the Rivet Games Class 171 pack is also going to be not included with the remaster, not going on sale along with the remaster, but hopefully it should come soon after that. Then all of the base stock of the route is getting guard mode, dynamic suspension, announcements, all that jazz. Foliage is getting updated. Oh man, it's going to be good. I've honestly been holding off on getting East Coastway for the longest time, and I'm honestly considering finally picking up East Coastway because this new remaster looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks absolutely amazing, and it is actually being worked on by Dovetail themselves with help from Liam from Grunt Dog Games, who did the GWE remaster. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun indeed. I'm still getting like 43 FPS. That's decent for my computer's standards. Come on, I get to 70. We don't have too much further until we get to Glognitz. Look at that. Look at that. We just have that little bit, and then we can punch it up to 160. Oh, there's Glognitz on the track monitor. So yeah, you can actually see where the bypass tunnel comes in, like right there. So it starts here, winds around a bit, and then comes in here. Excuse me. My goodness. Alright. Or is this a different station? Oh, this is a different station. This is... How do you even pronounce that? Schlogelmühle. Schlogelmühle? My good... Oh, hello. Where are you going? Oh, you're a freight train. Okay. So yeah, once we pass Glognitz, we can just absolutely punch it up to 160. This thing's top speed is 230, which is actually really decent. That's faster than the British HSTs that this thing is capable of. But I don't know if there are any, like, dedicated high-speed tracks in Austria. Austrian viewers will need to let me know down in the comments if there are any dedicated high-speed lines in Austria. I know there are in Germany, but not about Austria. So, yeah, we're nearly at the bottom here. Oh, nice. Greenhouses on the left there. Didn't even know those. I'd forgotten those were there. Nice. Oh, look, there's the 150 limit coming into view on the track monitor. Oh, that's so good. Haven't had to change the throttle the whole time. The AFB is very nice at controlling the speed. Yeah. Honestly, the future, despite all the shenanigans that Dovetail tries to pull off sometimes, I do believe that the future of this game is bright, because all of the third-party developers have some exceptional stuff in the works, like the Japanese Tadami line, the Czech Liberec to Stara Paka route, the Portuguese Lisbon to Setúbal route. Like, okay, we're about to come onto the home stretch toward Wiener Neustadt. And yeah, I like Dovetail finally fixing the blurry textures issue. We hope. Great West Express getting remastered. Look, Aachen remaster, East Coastway remaster. I'm excited for the future of this game, man. Alright, 150 limit should be kicking into force as soon as the rear of our train passes the sign. And then we can just send it. Absolutely send it. Yes, there we go. Maximum beans. There's some car wagons there. Right, come on. Oh. Come on. And this thing does have some serious pull. Look at that. At 65% throttle. That's already 100. There's a... Yeah, that's another interesting quirk about the Semmeringbahn. The freight trains are often double-headed, and an also notable improvement over at the Semmeringbahn over the OG Semmeringbahn from Train Simulator Classic is the route gets an extension from Glognitz to Wiener Neustadt, because the original TS Classic version was just as far as Glognitz. Unfortunately, they didn't have this high-speed section. Alright, max... Right, okay, let's just go for it. Here we go! 140. We'll have those 25 kilometers done in no time at the speed, because the track is basically almost dead straight all the way there. We will be clear up to 160 in a minute, if I'm not mistaken. Oh man, this thing is smooth. Forgot how fun it was to operate this thing at speed. That air hiss you hear is the AFB struggling to decide whether it wants to be applying power or applying power for the forward thrust or backwards thrust, i.e. dynamic brakes. Nope. Thank you, Sifa. 150, there's the 160 coming into view. Oh man. This is the underappreciated part of the Semmeringbahn, where after a long session of winding down the mountain, you can absolutely send it up to top speed and just watch the miles effortlessly cruise by. This section does not have LZB, by the way. It's just PZB, so you better keep an eye out for that if you're used to LZB and in-cab speed control that LZB provides. Alright, there's the 160 limit coming up. One thing I do like about this line is the pretty detailed stations. The stations do look quite nice. I haven't seen another train in a bit. Well, apart from that freighter at Glognitz that we overtook. Alright, 160. That's going to be our highest speed for today, since we can't go up to this train's top speed of 230. 160 will have to do. That's probably the worst flyby shot I've done in a while, but it is what it is. Sorry, viewers. Under 20 kilometers to go. Thank you. Right. How's performance doing? 42-ish? Around there. Oh no, red signal. Are you kidding me? I just want to run at high speeds, man. Come on. Yes, it changed to green. Thank goodness. We might be running behind someone else, you know. Hope not, but we might. Let's see. There's a 4024 heading towards Semmering. There's you, which is a freight train. There's no one in front of us, so it must have been a level crossing. Well, unless I'm really missing something. Which I probably am. So the fog has lifted slightly, but it is still foggy. Really hope we're not stuck behind a freight train or something that I've just neglected to see. Let's see. No? Doesn't look like it. Huh. Okay, we really have to slow down. That signal's not too far away. There's a 4024. I like. Oh, okay. You're... Put it... Yeah, we stuffed. Easy. There we go. Oh, safe. You're now going to say it's safe to release, aren't you? Come on. Don't know what that signal was doing. There's no one ahead of us. I don't know what... Why did it turn red? Must be a broken signal of some kind. Right. At least the Taurus is decent at getting back up to velocity quite quickly, so... Excuse me. So, we should be back up to line speed in a jiffy. Max oomph, please. Yes. Ooh, this. Oh, hello. No, you don't like that, do you? Right, 80% seems to be doing the trick. Oh, really? We must be following someone. Just. Oh, there's a Sigmar's freight train. Nice. I must be following someone that I've just been too thick to see. Oh, it's a local stopper. Pair back, right? No! Dang it! Shouldn't have been in the... First Zwangsbremsung emergency brake application of the day, viewers. Okay. Override, please. Nope. It's not letting me override. Even when it's yelling at you, you still... Alright. Apologies about that, viewers. I'm normally much more competent at driving German trains than that. Shut up. Quiet. No, it doesn't even an external view. Stop it. Quiet. Yeah. Thought we'd be... Where is it? Oh, that's just trying to figure out. Where are you? Okay, you're just leaving... what is that station? St. Eigden am Steinfeld. Okay, at least that's its last stop before Wiener Neustadt. Stop it! Stop repeating yourself! Oh, I had the override button engaged. Oops. And it's still repeating itself. Are you for real, mate? Override is disengaged. Okay, it's still repeating itself. I do apologize, viewers. Alright, at least we're... Since we're stuck behind a 4024, that thing's limited to only 140. Probably be chasing reds until we get to Wiener Neustadt in 11 kilometers, which should take 8 minutes, but... Oh, it's finally stopped repeating itself. Yay! Right. Quiet. Stop saying we have wheel slip. We don't have any wheel slip. That's just your imagination. Oh, there's... Oh, never mind. Turned green, so let's hit it again. Come on. 10 kilometers to go with 7.5 minutes to get there. I'm sure we can do that, right? Yeah, at 160 we should be in there in ample time, unless the stupid OBB 4024 prevents us from doing so by some stupid shenanigans. Nope, yep, I see it. Probably going to force us to go to 85 at the signal, won't it? This piece of B. Let's just preempt it there. That way I can save the brakes a bit. St. Eigden am Steinfeld. I think that's how you pronounce that anyway. You're probably going to make me acknowledge the piece of B. No. Still have a red signal. Okay, there's the signal. We've already gotten down to speed, so that's good. Getting ready to acknowledge the piece of B. Nope, never mind. Not to 190, hang on. Let's put the throttle up first. Let's put you down to 160. There we go. I guess we'll be just chasing this guy for the whole way. Ah! Stop wheel slipping. Come on. Can you tolerate 90%? Yes. 100? No. Okay. Really? 6 kilometers to go. And back down you go, sunshine, because... this is so annoying. Thought we'd be able to stay at line speed for the whole time, but no, we're chasing a local stopper, so... we have to slow down. At least the dynamic brakes can get us down very quickly. Oh, never mind. Back to 160. Ah, dear. Come on. Disengage the dynamic. Put in the main brake. Put in the throttle. Please. How far is that little 4024 ahead of us? Where are you? Oh, you're just entering Wiener Neustadt at a different platform, so we should be clear all the way in. I hope. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're clear all the way into Wiener Neustadt now. Nice. So we weren't stuck behind him for too long. Very good. Yeah, yesterday when I was driving in SimRail, I was looped 3 times as a freight service for other trains to go by, and that drove me a bit nuts, I'm not gonna lie. But I was driving the Seske Drache Series 163, the new locomotive that just came out for SimRail, so I was having an absolute blast, because that is a excellent locomotive, truly top tier quality. Absolutely amazing. Lovely sounds, brilliant. Alright, let's slow down. Let's go down to 100 a bit early, since... let's go to 150. Big freight yard on the right hand side here. No Austrian freight wagons in the game, so they're all the German stuff layered in from other routes. And they all have Deutsche Bahn branding for some weird reason. Anyway. Right, 3 minutes to do the one mile into Wiener Neustadt. Why did I just use miles? We're using kilometers, we're in Europe. Didn't get why I just did that, man. Right, the signal should probably... Yeah, this signal's shoving us down to 85, so... Start slowing down now just to be proactive about that. And you're going to make me acknowledge that. Yes, you are. Let's go down to 60. Since we do have that limit coming in. Here we go. Finally, Wiener Neustadt. I've had to use the wipers the entire time. My goodness. Alright, let's cut the throttle. Let's get some brakes on. 400 meters to go. Getting shunted onto platform 6 here. We probably will have a 500 hertz coming into effect. 2 minutes early though, that's what I call Austrian efficiency, man. Yeah, I do love me some Austrian efficiency. The game is not liking that that so much stock and people and all of that have come into view. 100 meters. Oh goodness. Alright, let's just... Easy does it. What? Oh, really? Well, at least we pretty much nailed the stop even with the Zwangsbremsung. That's funny. Yeah. Alright, this train will now continue on the AI to Flughafen Wien, which I assume is Vienna Airport, but don't quote me on that. Welcome to Wiener Neustadt Hauptbahnhof. Let's just wait for all of the passengers to disembarkate themselves. It sounds like a veiled insult, doesn't it? Lock the doors. And there we go. Lost 97 points to speeding, which I'm not too surprised about. Look at the graph, it's up, down, up, down, up, down. We were chasing the stopper. Anyway, we got a platinum medal, so that'll be all for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, become a channel member if you can afford it for exclusive content, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.